Welcome back to the channel, Valuable Coins HD, most iconic and sought-after coins, the 1-cent Lincoln Wheat penny from 1956. You might think a penny is just a penny, but trust me, this little piece of copper holds secrets, history, and value that could surprise you. Whether you're a seasoned numismatist or just starting your coin journey, this video will reveal everything you need to know about this remarkable 1956 penny, including why some examples are worth an astonishing sum. Stay tuned, because by the end, you'll see just how much this humble coin could be worth today. To truly appreciate the 1956 Lincoln Wheat penny, we need to understand the legacy behind the coin itself. The Lincoln cent was first introduced in 1909, celebrating the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. It was a revolutionary design, as it was the first American coin to feature a real person instead of symbolic imagery. The reverse featured two stalks of wheat, hence the name Wheat Penny. This design remained in circulation until 1958 and is cherished by collectors worldwide. The year 1956 sits toward the latter years of the Wheat Penny's run, yet it remains one of the most fascinating years due to the intricacies of minting and the number of coins produced. In 1956, the United States Mint was operating at full capacity, producing pennies primarily at the Philadelphia Mint and the Denver Mint, identifiable by the D Mint mark under the date for Denver issues, while Philadelphia pennies carry no mint mark, although the 1956 penny was produced in massive quantities, billions of them. What makes certain specimens stand out are their condition, mint marks, and some rare errors or varieties that can transform an ordinary penny into a highly valuable collector's piece. Let's take a closer look at the design details. The obverse side of the coin proudly displays the left-facing bust of Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner. Surrounding Lincoln's image are the words, "In God We Trust," along the top edge, "Liberty," to the left, and the date, 1956, to the right. This design is timeless and instantly recognizable, symbolizing American ideals and history. Flip the coin over, and you'll find the reverse design, two stylized wheat ears framing the words, 1 cent and United States of America. This wheat stalk motif embodies prosperity and abundance, a fitting symbol during the post-World War II economic boom of the 1950s. Now, here's where things get really interesting for collectors. While the 1956 pennies were widely circulated and are generally common, the market places high value on pennies in exceptional condition. Most 1956 pennies you find in circulation will have obvious wear and may not be worth much beyond their face value or a small premium, but pristine, uncirculated 1956 pennies with a strong strike, full details, and original luster are extremely rare. Even more coveted are those coins that were struck at the Denver Mint and have a sharp, clear D mint mark. These coins are often found in high-grade collections and auction lots fetching serious money. Moreover, a few notable mint errors exist in 1956 pennies that make them all the more desirable. These include double die obverse. Some 1956 pennies show doubling of the date or lettering on the obverse side. This doubling happens during the minting process when the coin is struck twice, slightly misaligned. Such errors dramatically increase a coin's value. Off-center strikes, pennies that are not perfectly centered when struck, resulting in part of the design missing from the coin's edge. These errors are rare and highly collectible. Die cracks and cuds. These are small flaws caused by cracks or chips in the die used to strike the coins. They appear as raised lines or blobs on the coin and are fascinating to error collectors. Collectors prize these mint mistakes because they are rare and tell a story of the coin's journey through the minting process. The imperfections make each error coin a unique piece of history. The value of a 1956 Lincoln Wheat penny depends greatly on the coin's condition and rarity. Grading services like PCGS and NGC provide official assessments that can confirm a coin's grade and authenticate rare varieties or errors, which can then dramatically increase the market value. For most collectors, finding a 1956 penny in mint state condition is like hitting the jackpot. Especially when these coins come with a high grade like MS65 or above, their price can jump exponentially compared to circulated coins. Now, what about the numbers? How much could a 1956 Lincoln Wheat penny be worth today? Depending on its condition, mint mark, and if it features any rare errors, some of these pennies have been known to sell at auction for an incredible amount. The most extraordinary examples have commanded prices reaching $194,000. Yes, that's right, a single 1956 Lincoln wheat penny, carefully preserved or with a rare mint error, can be worth close to $200,000. This astonishing value is a testament to. Today, we're shining the spotlight on a true classic, the United States 1-cent Lincoln wheat penny from 1957. At first glance, it might look like just another penny, but stick around because this particular coin holds a story of craftsmanship, history, and astonishing value that might just blow your mind. Let's start with the basics and then dive deeper. The Lincoln Wheat Penny series ran from 1909 to 1958, and this 1957 issue is one of the final chapters of that iconic era. Designed by Victor David Brenner, the coin features the familiar profile of Abraham Lincoln on the front, a symbol of freedom, unity, and resilience that America cherishes deeply. On the reverse side, you'll find two wheat stalks bordering the words, 1 cent, and United States of America, a design that reflects prosperity and growth during the mid-20th century. The wheat penny is beloved not only for its aesthetic appeal but also for its historical significance. It captures a snapshot of American life through several pivotal decades. Now, while millions of 1957 pennies were minted, what makes this particular coin stand out to collectors is its mint mark and condition. The 1957 penny was minted in Philadelphia, which means most coins from this year actually don't carry a mint mark, but there were also a limited number produced at the Denver Mint, marked with a small D beneath the date. Collectors tend to prize coins with this mint mark, especially if they are in pristine condition. What truly elevates the 1957 Lincoln wheat penny in the eyes of numismatists is the quality and rarity of well-preserved examples. Many of these pennies were circulated extensively and show signs of wear, so finding one with its original mint luster intact is quite rare. Such coins have become treasured collector's items, often found only in high-grade collections or professional grading service registries, but there's more to the 1957 penny than just its mint mark and condition. Some rare error coins from this year have turned up, making the story even more intriguing. Errors such as double die obverse, where the date or lettering appears doubled, or off-center strikes, where the design is misaligned on the blank planchet, are highly prized by collectors. These minting anomalies add a layer of uniqueness and scarcity that can dramatically increase the coin's value. Let's not forget the powerful emotional connection these pennies hold. They were circulating during a transformative era in America's history, post-World War II, during the baby boom, and amid rapid economic growth. Holding a 1957 Lincoln wheat penny is like holding a piece of that era, a small but powerful reminder of the past. In terms of coin grading, the higher the grade, the more valuable the penny. Coins graded mint state 65 or above are exceptionally rare for this year. Professional grading organizations, such as PCGS and NGC, help collectors authenticate and assign a grade, which can make all the difference in the coin's market price. Now for the big reveal, a 1957 Lincoln wheat penny in exceptional condition, especially with the coveted Denver D mint mark or one with a rare minting error, can fetch a staggering sum. Collectors and investors alike have seen these coins reach prices as high as $198,000. That's right, close to $200,000 for a single 1957 Lincoln wheat penny. Imagine that, a humble penny, something you could easily overlook in your pocket, potentially worth nearly $200,000. This is what makes coin collecting so exciting, hidden treasures waiting to be discovered, each with its own story and value. Today, we're going back in time to explore a fascinating piece of American history, the United States 1-cent Lincoln wheat penny from 1945. This penny is more than just spare change, it's a remarkable artifact from a pivotal year, packed with history and hidden value. If you thought pennies were just pennies, you're in for a surprise. Stay tuned, because by the end of this video, you'll discover how much a pristine 1945 Lincoln wheat penny with the right mint mark can be worth, and trust me, it's worth far more than you might think. To understand the true significance of the 1945 Lincoln wheat penny, we need to set the scene. The year 1945 was monumental, not only for the United States but for the entire world. World War II was coming to an end, marking a turning point in global history. The economy was shifting gears from wartime production back to peacetime growth, and everyday Americans were adjusting to a new reality. The penny from this year is a small but powerful symbol of that transition, minted during a time of hope, rebuilding, and the dawn of a new era. Designed by Victor David Brenner and introduced in 1909, the Lincoln Wheat Penny carries Abraham Lincoln's profile on the front, a tribute to one of America's most revered presidents. The reverse side features the iconic wheat stalks, which symbolize prosperity and the hardworking spirit of the American people. By 1945, this design had become a beloved and enduring symbol, seen in countless wallets and coin jars across the nation. The 1945 pennies were minted primarily at 3 locations: Philadelphia, no mint mark; Denver, marked with a D; and San Francisco, marked with an S. While millions of these pennies were produced, the mint mark plays a significant role in their rarity and collector appeal today. Among these, the San Francisco S mint mark from 1945 is particularly sought after by collectors, especially in higher grades. What makes the 1945 Lincoln Wheat Penny so interesting to collectors isn't just its age or mint mark, but the condition and potential errors that can make a coin truly rare. Over the decades, most of these pennies have circulated heavily, showing wear, scratches, and patina, which is expected given their everyday use during a tough era. Finding a 1945 penny that's uncirculated or near mint state is a rare treat. Collectors prize these coins in mint state grades, where the coin's original luster and sharp details are preserved. A high-grade 1945 Lincoln Wheat Penny is a window into the past, practically untouched by the hands of time. But what really excites collectors are those rare specimens with mint errors, like double dies, off-center strikes, or unusual die cracks, which can skyrocket a coin's value. There's also an interesting historical tidbit that adds to the coin's mystique. In 1944 and 1945, due to the war effort, pennies were struck primarily using recycled metals from spent shell casings, giving some coins a unique composition that adds to their intrigue among collectors. Now, you might be wondering about the value. While most common pennies from 1945 might only be worth a few cents or a couple of dollars in worn condition, coins that are well preserved, especially those with mint marks from Denver or San Francisco and particularly those with unique minting errors, can command prices that are truly astonishing. In fact, a top condition 1945 Lincoln Wheat Penny with a notable mint mark can be valued at over $128,000. Yes, you heard that right, $128,000 for a penny. Imagine that, something so small and ordinary, tucked away in your coin jar or pocket, could hold an incredible fortune. This is what makes coin collecting so thrilling, the hidden stories and surprising values lurking in everyday objects. If you've stumbled across a 1945 Lincoln Wheat Penny, especially one that looks shiny and uncirculated or has a Denver or San Francisco mint mark, it's absolutely worth having it examined by a professional coin grader. You might be sitting on a piece of history that could change your life. Today, we're shining a spotlight on a classic piece of American numismatic history, the United States 1-cent Lincoln Wheat Penny from 1958. This isn't just any penny, it's a symbol of an era, a piece of art, and, for some lucky collectors, a ticket to a serious payday. Stick with me because by the end of this video, you'll understand why this humble coin could be worth a jaw-dropping amount. Let's travel back to 1958 for a moment. America was in the midst of the post-war boom. Families were growing, suburbs expanding, rock and roll was taking the nation by storm, and the space race was just beginning to capture the imagination. Amid this exciting era, the United States Mint continued producing the Lincoln Wheat Penny, a coin that had been in circulation since 1909, paying tribute to Abraham Lincoln and his legacy. The 1958 Lincoln Wheat Penny features that familiar, dignified profile of Lincoln on the front, sculpted by Victor David Brenner. The reverse showcases the iconic wheat ears, symbols of prosperity, abundance, and the hardworking American spirit. Even though the wheat penny design would soon be replaced by the Lincoln Memorial design in 1959, the 1958 pennies carry that classic charm and nostalgia that coin enthusiasts adore. Now, what really makes the 1958 Lincoln Wheat Penny captivating to collectors isn't just its design or historical backdrop, but its mint mark. These pennies were struck at the Denver Mint, marked with a D, and the Philadelphia Mint, which bears no mint mark. But it's the Denver Mint versions, particularly in pristine condition, that attract the most attention. These coins represent a specific slice of American minting history, among the last of the wheat pennies. While millions of these pennies were circulated, the real value lies in those that survived unscathed through the decades. Most pennies, especially from the 50s, were everyday coins, passed around countless times, losing their original shine and detail. That's why finding a 1958 penny in mint state, meaning it looks almost as fresh as the day it left the mint, is rare and highly prized, but rarity alone isn't the whole story. Errors and variations can significantly boost a coin's value. For instance, slight differences in die engravings, off-center strikes, or doubling effects can make a 1958 penny extraordinarily valuable to dedicated collectors who seek those one-of-a-kind anomalies. Let's talk a bit about the coin's composition. The 1958 Lincoln wheat penny is made primarily of copper, unlike modern pennies, which contain more zinc. This gives the coin a distinct reddish-brown hue when well preserved and helps collectors differentiate between older and newer issues. So, what about the value? If you stumble upon a circulated 1958 Lincoln wheat penny, it might fetch just a few cents or a couple of dollars depending on its condition. But if you're lucky enough to own one in top mint state condition with a clear Denver mint mark, and even better, one with a rare mint error, it could be worth an astonishing $178,000. Yes, that's $178,000 for a single Lincoln wheat penny from 1958. It's amazing to think that such a small coin, once just a means for buying gum or candy, can now represent such incredible value. So, if you have a stash of old coins lying around, take a closer look at those pennies from the late 50s. You might have a treasure waiting to be discovered. And remember, coin grading by a professional is key to unlocking the true value of your coin, so don't hesitate to get your coins authenticated. Today, we're diving deep into the story and value of one of America's most iconic coins, the United States 1-cent Lincoln wheat penny from 1940. This penny isn't just spare change, it's a tangible piece of American history and, for some, a rare treasure that could be worth a small fortune. So sit tight, because we're about to uncover everything you need to know about this fascinating coin, including its history, design, rarity, and, of course, how much it's worth in today's market. Let's start by setting the scene. The year 1940 was a pivotal time in American history. The country was emerging from the Great Depression and on the brink of joining World War II. People were hopeful but cautious, and everyday objects like coins often carried more weight than their monetary value. The Lincoln wheat penny, first introduced in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth, was already a beloved piece of currency by 1940. Its enduring design reflected both patriotism and a tribute to one of the nation's most revered presidents. The 1940 Lincoln wheat penny features the familiar profile of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse side, a design by Victor David Brenner that has remained virtually unchanged since its inception. The reverse side of the coin carries the iconic wheat ears motif, symbolizing prosperity and the agricultural backbone of America. This classic design remained until 1958, making the wheat penny one of the longest-running designs in U.S. coinage history. Now, when collectors talk about the 1940 penny, one crucial detail stands out: the mint mark. In 1940, pennies were minted at 3 different locations: the Philadelphia Mint, which usually has no mint mark, the Denver Mint marked with a D, and the San Francisco Mint marked with an S. Each mint produced millions of pennies, but as with all coins, the value often hinges on where it was minted and the coin's condition. The Philadelphia pennies are generally the most common, but the Denver and San Francisco minted coins are sometimes rarer in high-grade condition. Mint condition means the coin looks nearly as crisp and fresh as the day it came off the minting press: no scratches, minimal wear, and strong detail in Lincoln's face and the wheat ears on the back. But it's not just condition and mint mark that make the 1940 Lincoln wheat penny special. Some coins have unique characteristics that set them apart. For instance, certain 1940 pennies exhibit slight die variations or rare mint errors, such as double dies or misplaced mint marks. These rare variations are like numismatic gold for collectors because they are one-of-a-kind anomalies that significantly increase the coin's value. Let's also touch on the composition of the coin. The 1940 penny was made primarily of copper, about 95%, which gives it a distinctive reddish-brown color when preserved well. This contrasts with later pennies, which contain more zinc. The copper composition makes these coins heavier and more durable, but also a favorite for those who appreciate the classic coin feel. So, what about the coin's value? If you find a circulated 1940 Lincoln wheat penny, it might only be worth a few cents or a couple of dollars, depending on its wear. But the real magic happens when you have one in uncirculated or near mint condition, especially from a rarer mint or with an unusual error. These coins can fetch remarkable prices at auctions and private sales. If you happen to have a pristine 1940 Lincoln wheat penny with a Denver or San Francisco mint mark, or even better, a rare error variant, the coin could be worth an eye-opening $188,000. Yes, that's right, $188,000 for a single penny. Imagine that. A coin you might have overlooked in a jar could be your ticket to a huge payday. So, how do you know if your penny is worth that much? Professional grading services are the best way to authenticate and grade your coin. They analyze the coin's condition, check for errors, and provide an official certification that significantly boosts a coin's credibility and value in the collector market. If you're a coin collector or just someone curious about the history and value of everyday objects, the 1940 Lincoln wheat penny is a perfect example of how something small can carry big stories and big worth. Thanks for joining me on this detailed journey into the world of the 1940 Lincoln wheat penny. If you enjoyed learning about this incredible coin and want to see more videos uncovering hidden treasures, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. And don't forget to share your own coin stories or questions in the comments. I'd love to hear what rare finds you've come across. Until next time, keep your eyes open and your collections growing, because the next great treasure could be sitting right in your pocket.